Welcome back to our Project 68 Mustang. We're still working on the water pump. We've had a lot of issues finding the right one. Castings are a little thicker and changed over the years, and the air conditioner compressor bracket won't work. So we finally found one. It's drying right now, getting ready to be put on. We'll finish up a few little things. Got our fuel system cleaned up here, as you can tell, no big hoses up. We put that custom line in. Not custom, but we modified the original line so that it follows up through its original path, flows in nice, clean. You can get to the, even with the bracket I checked it earlier, you can get to the filter to replace it without a lot of trouble. So little things now, finishing up the electric choke. And I'm gonna run it off of the coil over here where the power wire for the coil comes. They draw such little current, it shouldn't matter at all. So get that stripped back, and well, I had my ends laying out here. What'd I do with them? All right, well, we'll get two more and I'll find them again in a minute. All right. Oh, there they are. You had them laying out here. So, I think I've mentioned before, but if I haven't, these are heat shrink on end, if it'll focus. Always have focus issues. There's a lot of focus discussions around here. So I'm gonna crimp this on and then heat shrink it, and it'll make a sealed connection. Under the hood, I really like these a lot. So we're going to set this on here. It's important to pick the right size. You don't want too big a connector, will never crimp down. Again, we're not talking about a lot of current. So a nice small gauge, good copper wire. This is some good wire, even though it's small gauge. Should work wonders. There we go. And we just kind of crimp that sucker on there, just like that. And I always bring it back out to the second little notch and give it an extra little squeeze. And then I give it a little pull, and it's crimped on good. So you'll notice my heat gun is modified. Yes, they make different things, but this is one I made a long time ago, and I've transferred it from heat gun to heat gun as I've worn them out. But it curls the heat all the way around, and that's the way I like to do it. So, nice sealed connection, and also gives me a nice protective area around, so the hot end is not just sticking out in the open where it can be shorted out against. Yep. And that's going to have to cool for a minute, or I'm going to get a rag, because that's hot. Yep, it's hot. Yep, didn't need that skin. And though this is not as tight as it'll be, we'll finish routing it here in a second and get it laid in the way we want it. Provided I can get my light to cooperate. And there we go. Nice sealed connection. All right, so let's make this look a little bit better. I haven't crimped the other end yet, so I've still got some wire, and I basically kind of ran it down through a little homemade loom here. So let's put a little covering on that of some kind. I generally like the this type of split loom, sort of finger type. But and I've got some of that, but I've also got. Over here with it. laid it all out and staged everything, and I don't know what to do with it. All right, hold that thought. And right here it is, laying right there chewing on my leg. All right, so what this is a little bit of the plastic limb. Nothing wrong with it. It's split. It's what we've used for years. It's just not my favorite. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. But again, we want it to look good. We want it to be protected. So here we go. And yes, I am reusing that, but don't tell anybody I did. Okay? Our little secret. So, all right, let's lay this out here. About how long we need it. And let's see, somewhere in there is probably pretty decent. Grab a pair of scissors, because in case you've ever tried to cut this stuff, side cutters do not do a clean job. With a good pair of scissors, and don't tell anybody that I stole them from my house. Oh, great. So, we're going to take this and just kind of feed it over it. Oftentimes I will add a zip tie or a piece of heat shrink to finish off the ends. In this case, I don't think I'm going to need it, but we'll see. I may probably go put a zip tie on it. Just the more I've sat here and thought about it and said it out loud and talked to you guys about it. Yeah, I'm thinking a zip tie right there. We'll clean that up really nicely and allow this to follow this down and slip off, and yeah, maybe someday. But if you fight long enough, you can win. Well, sometimes you win, sometimes it's, you know. But we're going with a win here. We're going for the win. Put a little bit more slack in that. All right, and that takes care of that. Nice little protected wire. Ties right into our existing wires that we're going to bring up here. These all kind of tuck back into this hole, which will all be covered here in just a few minutes when we put the rest of the brackets back on. Sorry. You know, that whole trying to do two things at once is not really working for me today. So, trim that guy. I'm actually going to end up on this side over here. Just like this. And we're going to drop in there and cut that just like that. Excess wire out of the way. And on the ground. Not my intention, but that's where it went. I tried. All right, I'm gonna just take this out of the way just because I'm trying to make a nice little harness here. And put my glasses on where I can see what I'm cutting and make sure I'm not cutting my own finger. All right. And again, we have a nice little heat shrink on eye that we're gonna put right there, just like that. You need anything from in here, Dad? Yeah, I thought he was still in there, but he's not. All right, and we'll crump that on. Give it a little extra. And then I'll burn my fingers again. Need anything from in here, Dad? So we don't leave our main power wire off. And then we've got these two. One of these is very warm. Again, I don't need skin on my fingers apparently. And that should all work together just like that. So now it's just a matter of tightening it all up. Put our coil wire back up, or later on, I'm trying to figure out why the car won't crank. That's to do that bracket. All right, Dad, I hear you walking around back there. You want to walk over and see how this looks? Choke wires hooked up. Gas lines hooked up.
It's really nice. That'll work.
Okay. I'll put a zip tie right back there on that to kind of close that off.
Okay. It's good.
Look okay like that? All right. So there you go. All right. So a little video of taking off the water pump. I'm not really sure how much of that I'll actually include in this, but here's our other one. One back on. This car was not blue, so at least it's covered, painted black.
This corner or that corner first?
Start with that one. Actually, it doesn't matter. Just tell me which one it is. So with these Ford water pumps, there's 9 bolts. They're all different lengths. So we use the old water pump as a stage. So if you will,
This side over.
this one. Okay. If you will unhook that, it's right there. So we use the old water pump as a stage, as we kind of kept the bolts in order that way. And if you look, the 2 outside bolts, if you can get them to hang,
Just George.
just George, I'm gonna close the door. Got it. I need the other bolt because I'm backwards handed. So another trick is always put anti-seize on these bolts, just a little bit. So as I was saying, you get these 2 started and pulled up, and then you can position the rest of them around it. And that is what we just did. So I'm gonna pull these 2 back out and hand them to you. You know where they came from, right? You don't need them right now because I am home. All right. And since we know it's pretty well lined up, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these bolts up because they will be behind brackets here very shortly. That's one of them. And that's the other one. Is that my monkey bolt? Yeah.
Okay. So, great. The other 2 bolts hold that bracket on, so that
Correct.
needs to be tight, and those 2 need to be tight where we slide this bracket over in there.
All right. Then the alternator kind of falls over into place. There's 3 bolts that hold down to all of the 2. Which one does this one go to? They're all unique lengths. Again, that's why I use the old water pump for a template. Just keep them all straight. I won't have to figure them out later. All right, now you want to go ahead and give me the little alternator bolt? Because I don't want to put that one on yet. I need to build this
Okay, I'm with you.
top half, I think, first. I think. Again, a little bit of anti-seize. And all your water pump bolts are 1/2 inch. And all of the accessory bolts and 9/16, except for those two that hold that part of the alternator on the back out. They're considered water pump bolts. So I need the two spacers we're gonna put in here. Little trick is, see if that's still tacky. No. I'll have to put these spacers in places that you can't see. A little bit of glue down.
Get Danny C's off of it.
He's slick.
I don't want to seize up all day.
Yeah, that's right. Put just a dab of glue on the back. Not much, and that'll kind of stick it into place while you I don't know that I can. There we go. Just lay it down.
There you go.
I know we all need to. Okay. Yeah, well, you got to bleed and be glued to it for the day's over, or it won't work. And one of those spacers is a gamble because they changed the milling on the face of these things. It's in the box behind here. We've had a lot of trouble getting this bracket to sit because it does not match the original Ford Motor Company bracket. So I need the two bolts. I want the two long bolts. The bolts that go on the water pump first. Yeah, I gotta put those in for my spacers off.
Top bolt, bottom bolt.
Long bolt.
Bottom bolt.
Take a look at it first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll let you snug these two. I tend to over tighten things sometimes. And a little worried about breaking that one or stripping it out. So he's gonna put the final torque on it just to make sure I don't do anything dumb.
Yeah, it's tight.
Yeah, because it's level now. Yeah. How's it look across there now? I like it. I like it. Still turn them?
Yep. That's right. I'll put it on you. This is good. That's a little snug, and I can move it a little bit.
So that's what we were finding is it was torquing, going to an angle. Let's see how much torque that's going to take. Oh no, it's fine.
Move it by hand.
Yeah, it's fine. I really like the way that felt going together for the first time in 2 days. You'll switch those back over.
Put your head bolt.
I want to look at it first.
Oh yeah, okay. Then put your head bolt in.
That looks pretty good.
It looks dang good. You got it right
I think
there.
the new pulley's gonna work out just fine too.
Okay. Where you swap over, where you put your little head bolt in there.
So if you were taking one of these Mustangs apart and getting the factory AC bracket off of it, there's a bolt you have to pull the water pump that comes from the inside down in this hole right here. Yeah.
Must be pretty well lined up, bolt started.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, I just want to throw my wrench in the water. I just, to the water. Yeah.
It may be worse off.
Apparently it wanted to go swimming. I feel like Flash and Smokey and the Bandit.
Let me reach for it.
There. This is the part. Oh, time for a swim. It's always time for a swim. All right, so looking at bolts, I've got that and then those two, right? Okay, another two got a different head on them. Yeah.
This one's like the one you've been using.
Yep, I know right where it goes. One I took out that I didn't need to.
Yeah.
Not that that would ever happen, but it did.
Swap
We have
those.
that one I want to put in right now. I'm thinking about it.
Just need your last bolt put in. It's all in. Right there.
So we like
Bottom bolt
a
going
long bottom bolt.
with this bracket.
That'll be our 9 bolts. He's just bound to come to me any season, no matter how hard.
You won Danny season. Don't look at me.
You're the one who had him last.
You want to put Danny season.
Alright, so forgot to put a bracket on first. That's what it was. Forgot my power steering bracket. You wanted a scripted show, you go somewhere else. Around here, you know what you're gonna get. Okay. Just like that right there.
Okay.
Just like that right there. Set up. So, I'm gonna figure out how to put it back together. I did take it apart. Why? I don't know. Oh, I want to put it this way. I may pay for that decision later. Or right now, for that matter. If you have a friend you don't like, I'm a Mustang. Phew, that's bound to get somebody mad at me.
I'm mad at you.
You're always mad at me.
I'm really mad this time.
One of the other things we had noticed on this was this other pulley making a lot of noise. Let's try that other one while we're sitting here looking at this. Make a decision. So the part does still exist. It is out there. A little bit harder to get to, but we found a crossover to a late model GM product, which is actually almost the exact same pulley, but it's rebuildable, where this one is, at least we believe it's not, without pulling it apart, and I don't want to tear it up to find out it's not. Some of these you can pull the cap off the end, and they have a nut or a way to pressing that off. Some of them don't. I don't want to tear this one up, though it's making a lot of noise. So, universal.
You have to put it in there. Because if it works, you
All
gotta
right, I gotta build that one, that's right. Only difference was I gotta open up one hole a little bit, but we're gonna take a look at it and see how it lines up. If it lines up and looks like it's gonna work, we're gonna go ahead and drill that hole, and we'll be able to continue on with the project. That looks straight to me.
Go straight to you. I'm good with it. We tighten this
So
bolt.
biggest difference is it just almost goes through, but not quite.
There's American metric.
So a few seconds on the drill press, and really it didn't actually drill the hole out. It just had a little bit of where it was cast. It was actually keeping from going through. Just a 3/8 bolt. Nothing fancy. So another little fun trick that most of y'all should know is to make these things slide on better is I use a little bit of grease or WD-40 in this case. I happen to have white lithium laying around. So I'm just gonna make a mess everywhere. Spray it in my face, across the car, just, you know, wherever else does not need to be. So let's see, when I'm gonna put that in there. Yeah, take it away from me. I know. Let's see, you know. So one of the things I like to do is sometimes I'm a little anal about it. I like to position my clamps so that they all run the same way. And in this case, that may or may not be possible. I'm afraid hose is too long. So I have to pull it back out and trim it just a little bit. And we bought the short one too. Saw this great internet meme the other day. And it's this picture of this guy. He was all kind of bent over, kind of crippled. He had a walker. Doctor looked at him and goes, "You know that 20 years of life you added for all that clean living? Well, this is it." Yep. Thank you. I appreciate
What
that.
you always wanted to say that.
No, that's not what I always wanted, and no, I'm not afraid to tell you I don't want it. So, the way they sell the hoses is top half's molded and the bottom half is cut to fit. It's so long I can't even put it in there the way it is, so I'm gonna cut it off.
I like it.
You like it? All right, he approves.
Don't mean it's right. Go for it.
It's my money, who does it matter? I like how he does me. That's a heck of a hose. Had these hose cutters a long, long time. They still work really, really well. Yeah, he starts singing, we're all gonna leave. All right, we cut that much of it off. All right, go find my grease. This clamp has been replaced at some point. It looks okay. I have no problem reusing it. I'm going to stage it the way I think it needs to land in the end. No idea if that's right or not. At this point in time, we're going to pull this out of my way just because I've already cut it. I can't turn it anyway. I feel like I'm removing the mattress tag that says do not remove. Might as well be. Okay. Well, that was a great idea. And so was that. Okay, so the idea of peeling that off was a bad idea. Who would have known? Oh, never make it look better. See where this got me. Okay. All right. It may be a leaving part of this, I don't know. Here, have something you've always wanted. A little strip of a label. So 15 minutes of video, you're listening to me fussing about removing a sticker. How fun is that? Not really. All right, good enough. Oh, still it'll come off. Yeah, I got it. All right, pre-greased, ready to go in. Oh, I got a hole. I hope I get to come out of somewhere. wrong way. Come on. Come on. I hope that's what you want me to do.
As long as you get to it, loosen in case you have to.
Loosen? What bad things are you saying to me?
Then twist it to get away from the belts.
Well, if you twist it, you won't go work the plane.
Okay, that's good enough.
I can probably get to it, yes, it's nothing terrible.
Probably tight enough.
What? You want to use that for that?
Yep, I do.
Alright.
Split it. Where it fits up against the bottom radiator, put a little glue in it, stick it to the bottom radiator where it can't fall out. You know, be sure what to do before you get into it.
Sure.
It'll be a little long.
The other thing we did was we, if you, I don't know how much the first video actually captured, they had nuts and bolts and all kinds of funkiness holding the fan shroud in. And we went to the trouble of getting correct clips and 8mm, or really 10, not 10 millimeter, but number 10 screws that look like this. The nice Phillips heads on, a nice Phillips head on them. You got one out of the package right there. They're like a black trim screw. Nice head, number 10 Phillips. It'll be a whole lot easier to put in and out versus all that mess we had to deal with before.
You start with
Either one. Alternator or power steering, either one.
the very back one is the
Alternator. Watch that. It's really hot. You know it's better too. That's never good.
well,
It's tight. It's the one I had to put an impact wrench on to tighten, to loosen. It's tight. It ain't wanting to budge. So, I turned the camera off for a minute just because I needed to think about that. But difference in us in most places, a lot of people have left it where they just tightened it down. We went to the trouble of impact wrenching and prying out the top bolt of the alternator one that wouldn't tighten up. The reason it wouldn't tighten is the steel and the aluminum had corroded internally in the section of the space through the alternator. Once we got all the corrosion broke out, threw it in the cleaner, cleaned it up, put a whole lot of anti-seize on it, and it went back in by hand, and the belt is now banjo tight for the first time, probably since ever. Yes, this has a hole for a 1/2 inch ratchet, and the ratchet would probably work fine, but I'd rather use that right there, which is the correct tools. You know, that's just scary, use the right tools. All right, we're gonna dose it, we're gonna dose.
I'm done dosing.
You done dosing? You good with that?
I'm tight enough.
It's not gonna stay though. Yeah, it stayed pretty good. All right, so new belts on, all actually tight. That was one of the original customer complaints, was it squealing? Well, we know why it was squealing now. The alternator, when you went to pull on the power steering pump, the whole water pump will off. The alternator had never been tightened, obviously, because the bolt was corroded in it, and whoever had worked on it before had left it just flopping loose. And the idler pulley was bad for the air conditioner. So yeah, that's a whole lot of replacement for one little squeak. It says top on it? See? It said top on it. I don't know, can you see that? It's a good question. He's giving me grief. See, right there. So that's the way it goes. All right, so you didn't get to see the off-camera filling of our wonderful funnel. We did a video a minute ago. We had some folks stop by, but I wanted to keep working, so I didn't video that. But we cranked it. We filled it full of water. And you heard the previous first crank video. We did adjust the air screws off camera. I'll do another video talking about that at some point. And you heard all the squiggling and the carrying on. It's hot now and it's kind of going through a cycle. Let's see how to crank. Dad? Not too bad, I would say. Sounds good. All right, Dad, set it off. All right, so a little wrap-up video for the day. Well, a couple of days, I guess. This video series will run over a couple of day period. This is our 68 Mustang project. T5 swap. First project was to get it running better. So we got the new carburetor on it, new distributor in it. Found the bad water pump. Found the bad idler pulley. Found some wore out belts. Found a lot of corrosion. Things not done right. I mean, put the little clips and the screws when you put the fan shrouds on. It's just easier for the next guy working on it. If you find a corroded bolt in an alternator, go ahead and fix it, because obviously another shop had been paid to put rack and pinion. I have no idea. The car's from Virginia. I have no idea who worked on the car before me. They didn't get the water pump tight, not water pump, but the alternator tight, and the belt had just been loose. One of the things that was squealing. It had been loose for a long time because they couldn't tighten the bolt. That's how they left it. They obviously knew the idler pulley on the air conditioner was bad because that was very obvious. Put anti-seize on the bolts. Go through the trouble, put a little glue, put the right spacers, make sure everything lines up, put the clips and the screws back in. It's cheaper and easier once than it is later. Anyway, if you like these videos, if you have comments, questions, whatever, if you like this, click like, subscribe, comment. The only way I know whether to keep doing it or not is if you tell me what you like and don't like, or if you have suggestions. And again, I'll throw this out there. If you're in the area and have a project, need some help, need some guidance, or just a suggestion for the next project, let me know. Thanks again, and I look forward to doing more of this with y'all.